exploration as part of our afternoon Yom Kippur worship. Today we're going to take an opportunity to get in touch with the spiritual in each of us in a non-traditional way. You may have a bowl of water you have prepared for this ritual today, and if you have not had a chance to gather one, we invite you to do so now. These holidays are about refreshing the soul. We get a do-over, we hope, if we do the work of reflection. We can find renewal. We endeavor on these days to cleanse ourselves. So this afternoon, we are going to take a journey together. We are going to embody this cleansing step by step. Traditionally, when Jews have sought renewal and cleansing, we have used the profound spiritual experience that is the mikveh. Jews of different backgrounds and for different reasons related to life change and the need for renewal or rebirth have immersed themselves in the mikveh. Today's cleansing ritual is inspired by 7 kavanot, 7 steps or intentions for mikveh preparation composed and created by Mayim Chaim Living Waters Community Mikveh and the Paula Brody and Family Education Center. Thank you for being with us on this journey. The first kavanah is called Hineni. Here I am. Close your eyes. Take a breath. Sit in a comfortable position that you can remain in comfortably, if possible. Pay attention to your breathing. You can close your eyes if you want. The first step, this first intention, is an invitation you offer to yourself. Be here. Be here. Be in your breath. What is it like? Feel the air on your skin. How does it feel? Let any ambient sounds fall gently on your ear. Or if you noticed no sound, feel the silence. Say with me by repeating after me. Hineni. Here I am. Hineni. He'ani. Mima'as. Here I am. God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, God of Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel and Leah, Adonai, Adonai, El Rahum V'Chanun, I pray to you for success on my path. I pray for myself and my community.
We return, we return, we return to you again. We return, we return, we return to you again and again to love, love. We return again to love. We return, we return, we return to you again. We return, we return, we return, return again and again to truth, truth, truth. We return again to truth. Kashveinu Adonai elecha v'nashuva Chadesh yameinu kekedem Yalalai lalalai, 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 yalalai lalalai. Lashana Tova Tikatevu Lashana Tova Tikatevu Lashana Tova Tikatevu Lashana Tova Tikatevu. We return, we return, we return, return again. We return, we return, we return, return again and again to you. We return, return again to you.
So beautiful, so beautiful. Betham, we continue now with the second of our 7 Kavanot, known as Hidur Mitzvah. Please repeat this beautiful 2-word phrase, which hopefully you've come across before, Hidur Mitzvah. Beauty enhances the mitzvot by appealing to all of our senses. Beautiful sounds and agreeable fragrances and tastes and textures and colors and artistry contribute to human enjoyment of religious acts, and beauty itself takes on, in other words, a religious dimension. The principle of enhancing a mitzvah through aesthetics is called Hidur Mitzvah, the enhancement, the beautification of a commandment or of a ritual object. Now, the concept of Hidur Mitzvah is derived from Rabbi Ishmael's comment on a verse from Exodus chapter 15, verse 2. Ze Eli va'anvehu, this is my God, and I will glorify God. What this really means is, I shall glorify God in the way that I perform mitzvot. In other words, a beautiful lulav or an etrog, a beautiful sukkah, which we're about to adorn, I believe, this coming Saturday afternoon. Beautiful fringes, tzitzit, a beautiful chanukiah, or a beautiful ketubah, a beautiful shofar, and of course, most significantly, magnificent Sifrei Torah, wrapped in their beautiful garments. Which reminds me, by the way, Betham, given the fact that you're at home, perhaps at this particular moment, you might be able to think of, or in fact identify, or bring forward and hold a precious Judaic heirloom, something that typifies Hidur Mitzvah. And the Midrash suggests that not only are mitzvot enhanced by an aesthetic dimension, but so is the Jew who observes it. And so there's this beautiful Midrash from Shir HaShirim, from Song of Songs Rabbah. You are beautiful, my love. You are beautiful through mitzvot. Beautiful through mitzvot, beautiful through deeds of ma'asim tovim, of loving kindness. Through prayer, through reciting the Shema, through the mezuzah. Now, I'm going to transition from the pulpit to the Torah table for a moment. So I'd like to share with all of you I've got some show and tell over here, just a couple of Judaic items that I brought from the Lieb home. This was given to Randy and I by my parents on the occasion of, if I remember correctly, our 25th wedding anniversary, which would have been probably about, I think, 11 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. And this, of course, is a challah cover, Shabbat, Robert Randy, 25 years with love from Helen and Gerald. So this is a very beautiful and a very special challah cover, which we cherish. This is a rather unusual piece, which I think many of you have already seen before, and it's a matzah cover. So we've got from a challah cover to a matzah cover. I hope that you're able to see this. I don't think that Brandon is able to focus in necessarily on the Torah table, but if you're able to see this from your vantage point, all good and well. It's my prized possession. It was made, 71 years ago, 1950, by my late maternal great-grandparents, who lived in London at the time. They made this for their daughter, my grandmother and her husband, and eventually my grandparents gave it to my mother and to my parents, and they in turn gave it to me. The Hollanders, Rita and Ben Hollander, my great-grandparents, were very respected embroiderers in London, and so this is a very beautiful matzah cover, which I certainly treasure. Here we have a beautiful little dreidel, Neis Gadol Hayasham, beautifully painted, as you can see. And here we have, so Randy and I collect khamsas. I know that many of you do as well. This is probably, for me personally, a very special, a particularly beautiful khamsa made by the Israeli artist Ahuva Elanei from Israel, but it's certainly one that I treasure, and it's identical to the mezuzah that we have on the outside door. This beautiful yad, if I recall correctly, was given to me many years ago. Amy and Lonnie, if you're with us, I believe it was daughter Lisa, on her journey to Israel, which we know was such a transformative experience for her in her young life. She surprised me with this beautiful gift when she came back, a beautifully decorated Torah pointer, yad. And last but not least, my most recent possession, which some of you have seen, this really unusual and beautiful becher, this Kiddush cup, which Randy and I, it was a gift to myself, mind you, as we were leaving the ancient imperial city of Fez. We stopped at a ceramic store, and I purchased this, and this is engraved with beautiful sterling silver filigree. Is that the word? I believe filigree. So it's a very special Kiddush cup, and I happen to like it very much. So just some special show and tell Judaica from our home. So there seems to be reciprocity of beauty through the agency of mitzvot. The Jew becomes beautiful as he or she performs a mitzvah. But conversely, Betham, Israel beautifies God by performing the commandments in the most beautiful manner. Hidur mitzvah basically means taking the time and making the effort to create or to acquire the most beautiful ceremonial objects possible in order to enrich the religious observance with an eye-catching aesthetic appeal. Exodus chapter 15, verse 2, Ozi v'zimratya vayhi li lishua. Adonai is my strength and my might. God will be my salvation. Ozi v'zimratya.
The third kavanah is nekavim, nekavim, in which our tradition celebrates and blesses the body in every possible moment and in every possible mode. We recite the words of this prayer, Asher Yatzar, every time we gather for the morning prayers. We praise the eternal God, source of life, who has made our bodies in wisdom, creating openings, arteries, glands, and organs, marvelous in structure, intricate in design. Should by one of them, by being blocked or not blocked, fail to function, it would be difficult to stand before our Creator. This afternoon, as we stand together before God, may the words of this prayer continue to call us to appreciate the wondrousness of our bodies, even when they are not function entirely as we would like them to. The meaning of words of poem by May Sarton, found in Mishkan HaNefesh, remind us that we need to treat our bodies with tenderness, compassion, and forgiveness. She writes, I can look at my body as an old friend who needs my help, or an enemy who frustrates me in every way with its frailty, in inability to cope. Old friend, I shall try to be of comfort to you to the very end. And so I found this beautiful song that is written by Dan Nichols, and he takes his own interpretation on the last line of the prayer Asher Yatzar, and it's all about thanking our bodies for, getting us through our lives. And it is my pleasure to share this very new song, but very beautiful song with all of you. Asher Yatzar by Dan Nichols. Give me minor, E minor. I thank you for my life, body and soul. Help me realize I'm beautiful and whole. I'm perfect the way I am, and a little broken too. I will live each day as a gift to you. Whoa, 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 whoa. Baruch atah Adonai, rofei kol basar umaflil asot. Baruch atah Adonai, rofei kol basar umaflil asot. Whoa, 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 whoa. I thank you for my life, body and soul. Help me realize I am beautiful and whole. I'm perfect the way I am, and a little broken too. I will live each day as a gift I give to you. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Kavanah number 4, B'Tselem Elohim. I am made in the image of God. Rabbi Nachman of Bratslav taught that when people pray, we reach in three directions: up, out, and in. We reach up to God, we reach out to each other, and we reach into ourselves. If you are able, stand where you are and reach upward. This can be with your arms, your head, your shoulders, your chest, whatever part of you feels good doing so. And as you reach up to God, I invite you to sing with me. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Now take a moment and reach outward toward the world around you. You can reach toward others in the physical space with you, toward the screen, or into the space around your body. Please join with me as we reach out to others. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. And third, we reach into ourselves. Hold your body close in a protective stance. Look inside your heart and pull yourself inside yourself. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. The secret, teaches Rabbi Nachman of Bratslav, is that all three are really the same direction. When we reach up to God, we are really reaching out to each other and into ourselves. When we reach into ourselves, we are really reaching up to God and out to each other. And when we reach out to others, we reach into ourselves and up to God. Each of us is like God. Each of us is created B'Tselem Elohim, in the image of God. Our outreach to others has the imprint of God's work in our world. Our deep reflections lead us to holiness and to creating connections in and with others and with our world. And just as we reach heavenward to God, so does God, in whose image and likeness we are created, reach for us. You are a creation of the ultimate and a reflection of the beyond.
Open up our eyes, teach us how to live. Fill our hearts with joy and all the love you have to give. Gather us in peace as you lead us to your name, and we will know that you are one. We will know that Teach us how to live. Fill our hearts with joy and all the love you have to give. Gather us in peace as you lead us to your name, and we will know that you are one. We will know that you are one.
The fifth of our 7 covenant is Elohai Neshama, which the Talmud in Masechet, in the tractate Brachot, Daf page 60b, teaches us that this should be recited or chanting, this amazing prayer, very shortly after we wake up, after the Modeh. You'll find it, by the way, towards the very beginning of the daily Shachrit morning service, usually included immediately before the Nisim B'chol Yom. Actually, it can be found in your silver machzor for this day of Yom Kippur on page 158. So we invite you, if you happen to have your machzor at hand, literally, you're welcome to look at page 158. Elohai Neshama, Shenatata bi Tohorahi, Ata Verata, Ata Yetzarta, Ata Nafachta bi, V'ata Meshamra Bekirbi. My God, the soul that you have given me is pure. You created it, you formed it, you made it live, breathed within me. You watch over it, you preserve it within me. So why should this be the very first thing that we say or we do in the morning? What is so important, after all, about these words? To answer this, Betham, we need to take a closer look at the opening line. Elohai, God. God is the very first word that we say. And so our very first conscious act of the day is to put God into the forefront of our consciousness. God is the origin of everything, the essence of everything, and the ultimate destination of everything. Elohai literally means God of me, to me. Having both God and me in this first word establishes then our fundamental relatedness to God. In our first moment of awareness and word of the day, we recognize and affirm that we are bound together with God. Neshama is the second word spoken, soul, or perhaps, if you like, soul essence, or soulness. Where does our soul essence come from? From Elohai. Our soul, our neshama, is our most essential connection to God. God's breath is our breath. Our soul is made of God's soul. Elohai neshama, shenatata bi, comes next in the prayer. Literally, given by or from you to me. Again, we see the intimacy between God and ourselves. You, God, and me. And soul is a gift, tahora li, a gift that makes purity our very essence. So no matter how far we may stray, and however we miss the mark, there is something that always connects us to God and gives us the possibility of doing teshuvah, growing back towards God. We can start again every day, every moment, if we have to. After all, by the way, Rabbi Nathan of Nemirov, who was a student of the Bratslava Rebbe, said the following of the Rebbe. The Rebbe became accustomed to constantly begin anew. And whenever he fell from his particular madriga, from his his level, he did not give up. He would simply say, I will begin anew. I will act as if I am just beginning to devote myself to God, and this is the very first time. This happened time and again, and each time he would start all over again. He would often begin anew many times in a single day. It is our God-given soul and purity that enable us to grow back toward God and real hope that return is possible. And so we can now lay out each idea in the order that it comes in the text. Repeat after me. Elohai, God to me. Neshama, soul, shenatata bi, is given by you to me. Tahora he. Purity is my essential nature. So this prayer then, Elohai Neshama, is a reminder that all humans have a neshama, have a soul, and have this purity and God essence at their core. We can choose to affirm this truth in our mind when we do not feel well disposed towards another person. This finds an echo in the Hindu greeting Namaste, literally meaning bowing to you. Its larger sense is the soul in me honors the soul in you. The soul of God and my soul called to each other, a dynamic to be found between human and the transcendent God, and also between human and the immanent God, to be found in the soul of another human. When chanting Elohai Neshama, which the cantor will lead us in very shortly, I affirm my connection, my God connection, your God connection, and therefore our inherent connectedness. When we define our encounters as soul to soul, then we are choosing to recognize the essential goodness that lies at the heart of each other. Elohai Neshama.
Elohai, Elohai, Neshama, Shanatata bi Tehorahi. Elohai, Elohai, Neshama, Shanatata bi Tehorahi. Ata berata, ata yetzarata, ata nafachta bi, v'ata meshamra b'kirabi. Elohai, Elohai, Neshama, Shanatata bi Tehorahi. Our sixth meditation, our sixth kavanah, is based on the very last sentence or phrase of Psalm 150, Kol haneshama techalel ya, hallelujah. The breath of every living thing praises you, God. Well, we all know without breath, there is no life. And the only thing that comes to my mind now is when we are in the midst of the childbirth, and everyone is waiting for what? a cry of the baby, because that's the first breath that the child is going to take, and life will begin. So at this point, I want to share with you a poem that I found, and it really spoke to me. The name of the poem is As I Breathe, May I Receive, and this is the poem by Elaine Gilner Friedman. And it talks about this important thing that we always, sometimes take for granted, our ability to breathe. As I breathe, may I receive. May I be surrounded in a protective glow of divine light. May I allow myself to feel and absorb this divine presence. As I breathe, may I receive, may it awaken within me the force of my vitality and the strength of my own will. As I breathe, may I receive, may my willingness to believe in my own well-being be enhanced, embellished, and enriched. May my faith in my own healing powers be renewed. As I breathe, may I receive, may I cherish and love myself for who I really am, weak and strong, selfish and selfless, learner and teacher, prideful and humble, believer and non-believer. As I breathe, may I receive, may this love for self merge with God's love and with the love of all humanity. As I breathe, may I receive, may I feel this love, acknowledge it, and take it in, knowing and recognizing that love and God's presence is always there. As I breathe, may I receive. As I breathe, may I believe. Beautiful words by Elaine Gilner Friedman. So at this point, I'm going to, of course, teach you a beautiful melody. It is actually, the story about this melody is very, very interesting. So this very one-line, simple canon was written by German musician and composer Michael Praetorius, who lived in Germany at the end of 16th century. He wrote a tune titled Jubilate Deo for the use in the Lutheran Church. Well, Rabbi Levi Wolf Kelman, who was a rabbi of the congregation Kol HaNeshama in Jerusalem, heard the tune and thought, oh my God, it would be a perfect fit for the last words of Psalm 150, and a bonus, it will emphasize the glorious name of his congregation. So he substituted the words and created this little gem. But to sing this particular melody of praise to God, you really, really need to take a good breath. So in Hebrew, the word for soul is neshama, and the word for breath is neshima. You can hear that they are almost identical, which proves in order for every living thing sing praises to God, we need to take this deep breath that renews our body and enriches our soul. So here is this melody, and first we're going to learn the words. So please repeat after me. Kol HaNeshama Tehalel. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. So together it sounds Kol HaNeshama. Say it again. Kol HaNeshama Tehallel-yah. Hallelujah. So here is the melody. I'll sing the whole phrase, and then we're going to learn it in little phrases. So Mark, can you start me off? So it starts like this. Hallelujah. So what I didn't do, I did not take a good breath. So in order to sing this with a huge breath, because this is the time for us to say, yes, we are praising, we're thanking God for everything that is around us. So we're going to take a breath. So in order for us to take a breath, can we, with our arm, can we make like a circular movement like this? And one more time, and take a breath at the same time. And then when you are in the process of finishing the circle, and that's what we're going to do, start the song. Goes like this. Rabbi Leap, Rabbi Torenberg, Mark can join with me, and of course, hopefully everyone else together. One more time, take a breath. Beautiful. So now I'm going to invite Mark. We're going to illustrate. So we're going to intone this beautiful round together first, and then Mark is going to take his time and his breath. I'm going to take my time and my breath, and then we're going to invite our rabbis to do the same, and we're going to, Barry, you next. You're going to take your breath, and you're going to sing this praise to God. So Mark, together. Okay. Hallelujah. Let's do it one more time together. So in our own time, I'm going to start, and each of us will add a beautiful melody in their own time. Thank you.
Thank you. The last and final kavanah is tikkun olam. And for this Betham, if possible, you'll need a small bowl filled with some water and a towel. Mayim, water, is God's gift to living souls, to cleanse us, to purify us, to sustain us, and to renew us. As I immerse my hands in this water, may I be open to the possibility of forgiveness. May the entry of my hands into this water mark my intention to forgive myself, forgive others, and ask others to forgive me. May my resistance to this task be dissolved. And so at this time, I would ask you, let's go ahead and we'll dip our hands. Please repeat after me. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu bitfilah, beyadenu b'mayim. Blessed are you, God, majestic Spirit of the universe, who makes us holy by immersing our hands in water. Water. Very good. Now, from the first to the second immersion, please once again repeat after me. The gates are open. Hear my prayer, O God. May I have the courage and the clarity to engage in the process of teshuvah, of repentance. And once again, a second time, we invite you to dip your hands, b'mayim, in the water. Our third and final immersion. Say with me words you're familiar with. Va'al kulam Eloha slichot, slachlanu, machalanu, kaperlanu. For all my wrongs, O God of forgiveness, forgive me. Wipe the slate clean. Grant me atonement. And now a third and final time to dip our hands, b'mayim. Turn us to you, and we shall return. Chadesh Yameinu kekedem, renew our days as before. May I return to my true self and be strengthened as I continue my journey of tikkun halev, repairing the heart, tikkun hanefesh, repairing the soul, and tikkun olam, repairing the world. Tikkun halev, tikkun hanefesh, tikkun olam. Our 7 kavanot, this beautiful and creative, spiritual and meditative practice this Yom Kippur afternoon. And we're grateful once again to Cantor Zark for having initiated this idea. We'll now conclude with Carlebach's beautiful Olam Chesed Yibaneh.
Olam chesed yibaneh, yadadai, dadadai, dadadai. 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 I will build this world from love, yadadai, dadadai, dadadai. And you must build this world from love, yadadai, dadadai, dadadai. And if we build this world from love, yadadai, dadadai, dadadai, then God will build this world from love, yadadai, dadadai, dadadai. Olam chesed yibaneh, 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 yadadai, dadadai, yadadai,
Rabbi Thornburg, Cantor Zark, Mark, thank you for this very special, creative, uplifting, meaningful, and we hope transformative meditation that we've had the privilege of sharing with you this afternoon. May we respectfully mention to you that the doors are open, quite literally open, for you to return to the Molish Sanctuary for this afternoon's Yiska Memorial Service, which will begin promptly at 5 p.m. So if you are coming, if you're going to be joining us in person, and you, of course, already have your Book of Remembrance, please be sure to bring it with you. There are, of course, additional copies for those that need them. There are additional copies here. We very much hope that in joining us for Yiska, that you will stay for the last hour, the concluding Yom Kippur service of Ne'ilah, which will begin promptly at 6 o'clock. The choir will return both for Yiska and for Ne'ilah. Please be sure, of course, to bring with your Book of Remembrance your silver machzor, Mishkan HaNefesh. We hope that we'll see you either here in person or, please God, on live stream within the hour. Once again, Tzom Kol, good Yontif to you all.